people are avoiding him like he was a player. Are you serious? He's consistent. I mean, he doesn't put up big points, but he gives you points every week.
No, he gives you points, but he doesn't put up big points.
No. I think I did pretty good. We're ready? Who?
Is it really on?
Yeah, we're good. We just have to replace pieces off.
12 minutes for my draft.
Alright, I'll be right back now.
Let us know when we're on.
Ready? All right, we're good? All right, so we've been having technical difficulties, but we are back to Real Talk 360 with yours truly, Julio, and
Tag.
main man Tag. So it's been an interesting week, pretty good week. Can't complain about too much. What did we do last week? Last week we had Veronica Dasher, right?
Talking her damn same thing.
Yeah, we had the same dating rules 101.
I thought she called me a 10, not an 8.
No, I think she
It
called
was
like
an 8?
a 4. You moved up.
Whatever.
Yeah, like a 4. You moved up to like a 6.
No, I call myself a 6. She called me a 10. You keep saying an 8.
I don't know. I don't have to go back. I have to rewind the show and check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that.
You can rewind it, so it'll be all right. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. This week we have local realtor Rosemary Gutierrez on the air.
Gutierrez.
Not Gutierrez.
That's more
That's the
Mexican.
right way to say it. Gutierrez.
That's not Guti. You said Gutierrez.
Gutierrez.
That's like what the hell is Gutierrez?
That's the Spanish.
How do you say it?
In English?
No, in Spanish. There's no English in Spanish.
In Gutierrez.
Gutierrez. Exactly. Not
Gutierrez.
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 He said Gutierrez.
Gutierrez.
So anyway.
Gutierrez.
Anyway.
Gutierrez. Sounds
Yeah.
freaking Italian. What are you talking
he's
about?
making it Italian. He's making everything but Latina. So realtor, so she's gonna hopefully bring some insight to any of you out there that want to potentially buy a house, some investment property.
Or scared to buy a house and don't know why.
Yeah. Or just flat out what you need to be able to buy a house. Because a lot of people have a misconception that if you have a job, you can buy a house, and that's not true.
No.
And so we're going to talk about that. We'll let her talk about that because she's the actual expert. And that's it. We'll try to have fun. We got a late start, so we'll make it do what it does. All right? So what we got here for our hashtag? What you got for hashtags?
Oh my gosh. Let's
We
see
got
my
the
phone
hashtags.
doesn't act up. Hashtag for last night, fantasy football. I think we better stick back to the online stuff.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I did not have fun doing it together with everybody there. That was not cool. I mean, I think if everybody was there, I don't know.
I think the environment too. I think it has to be a different environment. I think if we were like
At a Buffalo Wild Wings or something.
Buffalo Wild Wing or some type of environment that kind of fits that. You know what I'm saying? I would even say your house, my house, the TV, a pool table, drinking, chilling.
Yeah.
A little bit more, but it was
got
just
the
like
dog sniffing your
a whole
ass,
bunch of
and then
men just chilling
the
up
kids
in the
screaming
living
over
room.
here, and then-
kids screaming, and Steve's kids are screaming on the Sky. So it was like, I don't know, it felt like a family event, but it wasn't really supposed to be a family event.
Hashtag to my boy Zone coming back from Florida. I can't wait.
Yeah, I know you've been
I need
harassing
some
him.
work. I need this arm done right here, man. So I can't wait till he gets
I know
back.
you've been
Man.
harassing him.
He's gonna get a lot of business.
Shouts out to Joshua Gonzalez, Frank Gonzalez, Talia Pavon, and your boy Romeo. Call him Romeo Rosa. He said he just loved the topic, loved to watch the great show topics and opinions.
Oh, Romeo. Que Romeo
It's
ni
not because
Romeo.
it's Romeo.
Whatever,
It's not
Romeo.
It's Romeo. So, yeah, shouts out to them. Shouts out to, we got some people in the audience today.
I see.
I don't know if they're really here to watch us or they're here for Chuck. Or
I think they
don't
were
know.
lied to. They were like, follow the yellow brick road. You'll find it.
But definitely shouts out. What else? Hashtag. What else we hashtag? man?
Well, we're going to be talking about
Hashtag
it.
football season about to start. So I
As
guess
you can see, we're-
I guess that's
we're ready.
We're trying to get there. Hashtag the Giants.
Hashtag who?
The Giants.
The midgets?
The Giants.
Midgets?
Hashtag the Squealers.
Steelers. 6-time Super Bowl champion Steelers. Get that right.
What have you done for me lately? Steelers.
Whatever. They make me happy.
You make him happy.
And in about 7.5 minutes, you're going to see me very focused on that because I got a draft coming up. So don't mind me too much.
Yeah, mind them. Hashtag to local real estate. Obviously, we have Rosemary on the show today. Hashtag what are the
Hashtag
hashtags?
Udicci.
Hashtag Udicci.
All day.
Hashtag the positivity challenge that Mike finally did. So hashtag him, and you know about the little positivity challenge.
I've been seeing the videos and I don't get the gist of it.
You just gotta go around, collect as much garbage as you can in a plastic bag, and then just take a picture or video, and then you get a point. Every time you do that,
What
they get a
garbage?
point.
When you say garbage, what do you mean?
Like, you know, what they're trying to do is clean up the community. So if the front of your house or down the street has garbage, picking it up. So it's kind of just helping to clean the community up.
Well, that's clean sweep right there.
Kind of, yeah, in a sense, but it's not just wait till a certain time of the year to do it. It's do it whenever.
Yo, can we hashtag the ice bucket challenge?
We did last week.
But it seemed like from last week to this week, it just seemed like
It died out.
It almost died out, right?
Oh, no, but that's of every fad.
But there was that 1 week where there was like millions of videos posted up.
Yeah,
that's
but
when I posted up.
But that's a fad, and that's why the people that were complaining about that. Oh, it's a fad, it's a fad. But you know what? The thing that I knew and the thing that I liked about it was that was a fad that actually raised a lot of awareness, a lot of money. And now you're not going to see it anymore because now that wintertime is coming, especially
I was
in our area.
actually challenged to do it in the winter.
Oh yeah,
Not an ALS
you
challenge,
could do-
just to do it.
Well, Range put out a challenge and said, why don't y'all do the polar challenge?
Yeah, man, I don't know, man.
That's January 1st.
I don't know,
At
man.
Durand.
I don't
And I mean,
know,
there'd be
man.
chunks of ice floating.
I know.
And
I
they go out
don't
there and
know.
do
I
that.
don't know. I don't know. People actually pay to do that, and I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay someone for me to get pneumonia. I don't know. I don't know. I seen girls out there in bikinis, and I'm like, y'all bugging, y'all tripping.
Well,
So I don't know.
That
if
might
it's
be worth it right there, though.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with a goose.
With a goose
I'm gonna go with a goose, gloves, a
Like, I'm
scarf.
here, I'm chilling.
I'm gonna be out there warm.
I don't know. Go Lions? No, not Go Lions. Go Giants.
What?
I think he's got it confused. He didn't hear when we said Giants. He thought it was Lions.
What are you looking at?
Dude, there's a screen right there. I don't know if you noticed, but there's like an actual screen.
Where does it say?
Right here.
Oh, Mike, we need you over
This
here. It
dude
took
only
these guys 3 days and 2 nights
He only
to
saw
get
part
this
of it.
damn thing up and
He only
running.
saw part of the screen. You only see what you want to see. All right.
I was looking over here, but he said no
Facebook
lies.
call out. Facebook call out real quick. Let's keep it moving.
Look, okay.
Can't be-
That was a warning to let me know that in less than 5 minutes my draft is
The
going to
draft is
start.
about to go
I'm
on.
actually number 3. I'm hoping to get Drew Brees.
All right, so Yvette Vasquez, which is my stepson's aunt, she likes to pick her nose everywhere. Pick and flick.
Damn.
But I guess
Like,
she
you
was
put
hacked.
that out there?
I guess she was hacked. It must have been hacked.
Well,
So
yeah,
we'll
I
just
remember when
say
y'all
that.
had my page.
Shouts out to the Remy's softball team, and I'm looking at the softball team, and I'm kind of feeling a certain type of way because a lot of these mother suckers that is on here, like Tone, like Logic, like Nick, the same people I played with when I played for Ray Ray's softball team, and we didn't win not one damn game. But now these dudes is holding up a championship trophy because they're playing for Remy. All the Riveras in this picture, they don't play for Ray Rays, they play for Remy's, and they win a championship. So it's either you, Nelly, or I don't know, it must be Remy. It must be Ray. But it's all Ray no matter what, right? It's either Ray Rays, Remy Rays.
There's a Ray.
There's a Ray in there somehow, but shouts out to them for winning the championship. I hope that y'all can do that when I come back on the softball team. If not, you know what? Whatever.
Oh, I know why Drew
It
Brees
is what
wasn't
it is.
available. Somebody held him down. This is a keepers league. You get to pick one offensive player and one defensive player. Okay, so
But you're gonna do that the whole time? Because we got to also interview people. So
Nah, I hear you, man,
can
but that's-
multitask.
I'm
I mean,
saying-
it's gonna be what? How many rounds? You're gonna have time between rounds. You'll be alright. So just try to maximize your times.
yeah, sure, I'll try.
Mike did the challenge, so I'm seeing this on Facebook right now. David D. Will Williams, who has the Peace Walk
I kept Andrew
coming
on
on, or the Positivity Walk
the Keepers
actually,
League.
is coming up next Saturday, September 6th. So make sure y'all
Yeah,
go to
yeah.
Liberty Pole Way. Make sure y'all support that.
Marty Rogers, I picked him.
This dude's gonna keep talking about fantasy. You see, he lives in a fantasy world. Right
Yeah.
now, we're in reality, and
Sure.
he's talking about a fantasy world.
Eddie Lacy's
Dude.
available though. I'm gonna take him.
Dude, can you pay attention to the show, please?
Yeah.
Can you pay attention to the
Yeah,
show?
yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
This dude is fantasied out. Fantasied
Oh,
out.
Le'Veon Bell's available.
We need you to live in a realistic world.
I'm right here.
Realistic world. All right, so go ahead.
I could just pick
I
that
did,
Ron.
I did my shout outs.
Just shout out. Just
I
yeah.
did my shout outs.
I'm good. Same
This dude
shout out.
right here.
Shout out to Romeo and Mike because they're watching right now.
You see what I got to deal with? I got to deal with a 39-year-old child.
38. I'm not 39 yet. You
39,
are.
39-year-old child. Man child. So what we're going to do, though, because we're running late on time, and we've had Rosemary here waiting already for like 45 minutes. Mike and Chuck worked hard to try to get them online, and
2
we finally
minutes.
got online. We're going to get here so that way we can have somebody on here that's actually going to say something, because this dude is going to live in a fantasy world, which that's what he lives in, a fantasy world. And we'll bring Rosemary up. So Rosemary, come on. So we have Rosemary Gutierrez on the air. Yeah, this dude is like, he lives in the fantasy
He's not
world.
coming back?
No, he'll come back, but he's got to attend to really important football stuff. Like, he's got to pick players that he's never going to be. It's a sad situation. It's sad.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sad.
We all have to
But
dream, right?
I guess. So what we'll do is we'll talk about fantasy housing. No, not fantasy housing, real housing.
Housing dreams.
Housing dreams, not fantasy dreams, housing dreams. So first of all, introduce yourself. Let them know who you work for, work with, all that good stuff.
I'm Rosemary Gutierrez. You said it right.
I know.
Gutierrez in English. I work for J. Vincent Real Estate. I've been licensed for, it's going to be 12 years now.
12 years.
Here in Rochester.
Okay. That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So-
long time.
So real estate, how is real estate going nowadays? Are more people buying, more people selling? What's going on?
It's been both. People want to know, is it a buyer's market, a seller's market? And
Hi, Rosemary.
hi.
How you doing,
Good,
girl?
how are you? It's been both. It's been pretty consistent on both ends, whether you're a seller or a buyer. The two have been coming together nicely. So it's just been, what I say, just a good market. Rochester, our market usually is pretty stable. But, the world's had their issues with real estate.
Yep.
And the economy being a little off. But things have come back to light, and people are buying and selling again. So it's been great.
The draft just began.
Draft just began.
Go ahead.
We'll keep talking about reality. He'll live in the fantasy world. What do you win, by the way? What do you get to win if you win?
Money, right?
This
Pride.
storied
Oh, that's
pride.
it.
And what can you do with that pride? Can you pay RG&E with that pride?
Oh, hold on.
Don't they
What can
bet
you
money?
do? No, dude, just go over there and do that shit.
No.
Don't do it over here. Go over there and do
Don't
that.
you
Just
bet money?
go. We don't
Don't
need
you
you.
bet
We're
money?
good. We're good. Just go. Just go. No, Wi-Fi is close over there.
No, actually, it shut me off over there.
No, yeah, it's gonna probably go right here in the chair. Sit down, cushy. Be cushiony. Take your beer. You're gonna be a distraction over here.
He's fine.
I think it's gonna be a distraction. Because no, believe me, he's gonna. Oh my God! I got so and so. Like,
Go ahead, talk.
Who
just
you
no,
betting
just
for?
go, just go.
No, leave me alone.
That's what I'm saying. I want to leave him ahead. Let me ask what you're.
What is it?
What did he say? What are you doing? No. Don't do that.
Come on.
No, leave me alone.
It's okay. Leave
Oh,
it.
So would you say it's a buyer's market or a seller's market?
Well, right now, as
Right now.
our season is coming kind of to, not an end, but the high volume is not what it was the beginning of the summer,
Okay.
start of spring. So now I think it starts to change a little, and it really depends on how you look at it. But I would say it's probably a buyer's market right now.
is that a seasonal thing? No.
It is kind of seasonal. No one wants, here in Rochester, no one wants to move when there's,
In the winter.
6 feet of snow.
I did move in the winter, and we had how much snow?
Twice.
How much snow did we have?
Did you
It was cold both those times,
How much
man.
snow did we get when we were leaving? When we were moving to the house?
Well,
Okay,
I don't
but-
know. I helped you out.
Oh,
that
you
thing was
weren't
bad.
there.
That thing was bad.
But
when I was,
Julio, didn't you get a good deal?
I got a great deal.
Because
I got a great deal.
because the season was coming to a close.
And because I had a great realtor
Well, that's true.
right there.
I agree.
Right there.
Hold
you're
on,
right.
hold on.
That is true.
Let me brush your
Thanks,
shoulders
thanks.
off real quick.
This one too.
But it's funny though because when we talk about that, and we talk about the fact that I looked at another house, right? We're not gonna throw out names, locations, or anything
No
like that.
addresses or
No addresses or nothing like that. We're not marketing for anybody because this house is still on the market. And there was a house that, remember, at one point was like number 1 on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah, you told me
number
about
one
it.
on my
For a
list.
while.
I'm like, I like this house, the layout, everything fit. But I think, and that's probably one of the things we could talk about first, is how realistic can you be, on either side of the fence? As a buyer, how realistic should I be? As a seller, how realistic can you be? Because in this situation, the house at that point was listed pretty high. Right? It was listed pretty high. We won't give numbers, but
No.
it was listed pretty high. Higher than what it was worth.
Let's just say it was probably listed, I would say at least, to be conservative, 15,000 more
More.
than what the market was calling.
Exactly. And me
Was
as
it because they did a lot of work in there or
There was
something?
a lot of work.
a lot
but,
of work, but the house that I bought, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. It was completely done. Kitchen, bathrooms, roof.
Actually, yours
everything.
was in better shape because you had appliances.
Yeah, and I had appliances.
Wow.
This one didn't even have
yeah,
appliances.
That's true.
Yep, and the thing was is
Oh wait,
Go.
and it was on a main drag too,
it was on the main
Yeah,
street.
yeah, yeah. What the other one wasn't?
where his isn't.
No, mine's is on
Oh,
His is on
God.
the- his is
Oh,
on
yours
the
was on the
main.
main street.
that
yeah.
one, that last one.
So
Yeah,
traffic,
I can't buy a house on the
buses,
main street. I can't
all
do
that.
everything. So I know
But go
that
ahead.
one of the things that you did was that you kind of did your homework, and that's as a realtor. That's probably a majority of your job, right? Is doing homework.
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, let's put it this way: if you, not that I could tell you what to do or tell any client what to do, but at the end of the day, we are salespeople. That we get paid when we sell a property. Knowing how much you really like that property, that was number one on the list, because it really, really was. I could have convinced you to kind of let's do it. Let's put an
pay
offer
that.
and pay that, because I mean the house was gorgeous.
Because we did a verbal. We did a verbal
We
offer.
did, but I did put
But
on
it
the
was-
table initially. I said I think it's overpriced.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I did go back and I crunched numbers and I looked at the scope of everything, and I was like, Julio, if you really like it, it's on you, but I don't think you should pay more than X amount of dollars.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I remember they came back, like I think even $10,000 more than that. They only, I think, moved like $4,000 or $5,000 away from the price.
It was something crazy, and
Yeah.
it was on the market for a long time. Is it still? I didn't even.
It's
check.
still on the market, and it's actually selling for the price that I think a little bit less than what I
Than what
offered.
you offered.
Yeah, it's selling for a little bit less than what I offered. Mind you, this was back in November of last year.
Well, mind you, they have to keep the electric on, the water running, so they have to cover all these utilities.
Yeah, every month. Every
Every
month.
month.
Every month.
So,
So they
Taxes,
lost more
everything.
than.
so the moral to the story is, if you're a buyer, is to make sure you get yourself a respectable, trustworthy realtor.
Yeah.
Because you could have easily, to make that sale, obviously higher commission, higher selling price, right? And could have probably said, you know what, this house is worth it. I did my research, I did my homework. This house is worth it, and you should buy it at this amount. And a buyer not knowing
Right,
what's
right.
going on. So I think number one thing is, how do you find
Yeah.
a respectable, trustworthy?
Yeah. And it's a
realtor?
relationship because you spend a lot of time together. You have to build trust.
And sometimes they say don't go into business with people that you know too. But in this kind of case, I would have went with someone that I know personally because I feel like, you know what?
They're gonna look
I
out
know
for you.
Rosemary, she's gonna look out for me.
Yeah.
If I would have got someone else, I would have felt as a number. I would have been put like, yeah. So I can
That's
see
true.
where in this kind of situation, having a personal relationship with someone as opposed to business and doing business with them, I think it will work out.
So what percentage would you say of your clientele is either word of mouth or people that you actually know?
Oh my God, I honestly probably have to say at least 90%.
Like 90% is word of mouth or someone you know?
Yeah, I do very little advertising. I used to do. When I advertise, it's really more to support another entity, not really for myself. So like when the Puerto Rican Festival does something, and if they reach out to me, I'll go ahead and say, all right, I'll place an ad and just support them or be a sponsor.
But
that
usually
sort of
you
thing.
don't advertise.
But usually I don't.
Well, before you go on to your next question, my thing is this: how long have you been a realtor, and what made you want to do that?
12 years. I've been a realtor, and I actually started. I used to work for a not-for-profit here. I don't want to give a lot of names. I know I just did.
This
but
is real
I used
talk,
to-
though.
Yeah. Okay. So I used to work for Ibarrow.
Okay.
When I first came to Rochester, for Ibarrow Development Corporation, and what they did was they sold houses to first-time low-income buyers.
With Eugenio Marlin, right?
It was Betty Dwyer at the time, but now.
Oh, this is back then.
Yes, this is way
Oh,
back.
okay.
So Eugenio is now the one in charge.
Yeah.
But so I used to be just the administrative assistant. I was new to the Rochester area. Long story short, I had a passion to help people, but also I started to see how this market was, and how attainable it is to buy a house in Rochester. I mean, I'm from New York City, and so are you, and you know that that's far from the mind. If you can get an apartment, you're happy.
Oh,
you know?
yeah, absolutely. You're good.
You know, yeah, you're good. That's all you think about. How big is that next apartment?
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
so I started to work with the first-time buyers who were low income, and we're talking about folks who never thought they could buy a house. And so I started doing that, and then I transitioned into where I'm now, where I'm an entrepreneur now, and I work under a broker, but I really truly work for myself. I cover all my expenses and that sort of thing.
So you basically, your business
is mine.
Your business.
Is mine.
So
Yeah.
the broker, what does the broker do?
The broker's responsible for the actions of the agent. So if I, whether intentionally or not, if I do something that's out of line, unethical, just wrong paperwork, contract, he gets penalized. I do too, but it's on him. So he kind of supervisor is what the job description should be.
And it makes it easier for you to do what you do.
Right.
I suppose.
Right. So they cover insurances and stuff like that.
So what advice do you have? I want to buy a house, you know, and I did buy a house.
Exactly. My favorite
But
client.
you want to buy a house, right? I don't know anything. I'm just new to this.
What vacation did you go on with that?
No, I pay bills.
I was worried about paying
Real
bills.
talk, I pay bills.
I was worried got a college bound
Yeah, oh
or
my God,
in college
in college.
daughter right
First
now,
year.
and in New York, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's where that money's going. But what advice would you give to someone who, you know, is like, I'm on the fence, I'm tired of renting because I'm spending all this money, my landlord sucks, not that all landlords sucks,
Right.
but mine, let's say, does, and I want to move and I want to go into a house, you know,
Right.
what? First of all, what should I do? Second question would be, what's in it for me?
Okay. Well, I'm going to just, on something you said real quick, you said my landlord sucks. Sometimes you could have a great landlord who will bend over backwards, you have a great rapport, may even be someone you're friendly with. But at the end of the day, they're in it for business and to make money. And anybody, and I'm sure a lot of people have, you can take what rent is for a 2-bedroom apartment and rent for a whole house with 3-4 bedrooms, a basement, attic, and those people are probably paying less, the homeowner, than the person paying rent.
Oh, actually, I agree. I know people. Actually, I have countless so many people that I know that are paying at least $400 to $500 more
Right.
in
That's a
rent
car.
than I'm paying for my mortgage.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
I mean, I bought my house was a HUD home, and usually when you hear HUD home, you think it's all dilapidated. It wasn't. It was honestly what you call a lipstick house. What is it? Makeup house. Where you gotta just honestly just move in, paint the walls or whatever. I had a couple little issues going on, and luckily somebody directed me, and I was able to go to the local agency, not for profit, which was NEPCA at that time, and they gave me a new furnace, a new water tank. Because honestly, I was not prepared for it. I moved in, they were red tags before the fall went in, and I was in trouble. There was no way. I just spent all my money in the house.
Yeah.
Furniture, buying it, everything. So I'm like, that was in around March, so we enjoyed the summer. The fall came in, and I'm red tagged. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? Someone told me about them, and to this day, they're not around and active anymore, but I'm very grateful. Actually, Maggie Nieves was the one that actually went out her way to make sure that I got hooked up. She gave me a new appliances, which I still have to this day. They're running beautiful, and I mean, no one told me anything about buying a house. I just wanted a house. I actually just hit 15 years in March having my house.
Wow.
I'm very happy.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
So you got some equity now.
I wish. I wish. I mean, if I do, help me find it.
So based off of what you just said, how do we help someone do not what it sounds like he did at the
Right,
beginning? Which
I just followed, honestly,
but to
at
buy a
that
house
time, my
and then,
credit was going good.
That's
I just
unique.
bought a car, and I followed my heart. It was a HUD home, and I was fortunate that there was really nothing majorly wrong other than the appliances and the chimney for the fireplace, which I also got fixed by another grant. I took advantage of grants. I'm actually at my 3rd one right now. Shout out to Diane.
but those grants are not available everywhere, right?
In the city, they are out
city.
there. You have to be very persistent. You have to call all the time. I tell people call all the time.
Yeah.
All the local community service agencies in the city, they're going to tell you they don't have no money, but be persistent. Call every month.
But in a situation where you got someone that's young,
Right.
buying a house, You know,
Or old.
Or old.
We
yeah.
have people who come like us from New York, older, and they've never owned a home. So it could be any age. But I think the first thing is to really just educate yourself, get the information. A lot of people have this thing in their head that it's not for them, or that's
Or it's too
it's
expensive,
impossible,
I can't
or,
do it.
you know, that sort of thing.
Not
So,
me, it won't happen to me.
yeah, I think the first thing is to get the information. And the information is talk to someone in the industry, whether a realtor, a mortgage person, even people who sell insurance. They'll direct you and connect you with the right people. But the first thing is to basically turn the switch and say, I'm going to do this. Because, once you want to do something, you make it happen. Then second
Rosemary,
of
not
all,
to cut you off, I think
Yeah.
sometimes the first person in line to talk to is other homeowners.
sometimes,
You should talk to other
yeah.
people, like, what's your experience? And granted, sometimes it can be bad experiences, sometimes it
I
can be good
was
ones.
just about to say,
Yeah.
sometimes.
Sometimes
Yeah.
it's bad experience, but those are the people that you should look towards, the people that have been in their homes for a period of time,
Right.
and they're actually doing something with their home, not letting it go down to the drain where,
Yeah.
where they're going to let it go. I mean, talk to those people. How did you buy your house? For how long? What did you do? What should I need? And who should I talk to? Because sometimes, those people, like, I know. I've had my house, and I can direct you to a whole bunch of people, starting with this one right here. So,
Yeah, so then they come to you.
So and then we talk about a little bit about their history, and then I'm actually the second. I'm the second step, or I can be the first step, and then I will send you to someone else, and then you come back to me. Really, the first step is to know what your financial situation looks like, and what that means is you don't have to make $100,000 a year. Whatever you make, depending on what your expenses are, is what's going to determine how much you can afford. And then you also have to have credit. You don't have to.
what is the standard minimum credit?
The minimum, there's some programs that will allow for a little bit lower, but the standard industry is looking for 620 credit score or higher.
And that's considered what? Just like fair credit.
Yeah, that's fair credit.
620 is not like, oh my God, I'm doing something really good. I'm
right.
just.
And 620
barely-
could be like someone just coming out of college, they're just rebuilding their credit.
Gotcha.
They don't have any credit actually.
Gotcha.
So that would be the first step.
So know your credit score.
You should know that. And that there's free websites, but also if you go into your local bank, you can talk to a loan officer, and they'll run that information for you for no charge. They shouldn't charge you, no charge. They
Which
should not
part
charge
of
you.
part of this segment that we're doing, and hopefully the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a bank representative
Yeah.
here to go ahead and discuss that part of it. But I think it really starts, is that making, like you said, making a decision. I want to buy
Right.
a house.
And really the realtor is the link to all these other people. So, if you need to talk to the bank, I can direct you to several people. You need to talk about insurance. If you need to talk about credit repair, maybe you're not ready today because, you forgot to pay that RG&E bill, and because times were rough at the time, stuff happens.
They research all that. They're looking
Yeah,
at
and so you know what? You figure out, you go on a payment plan, and within a few months, you pretty much can be ready for home ownership. I've had, just a real quick story, I had a person, older gentleman, middle age, I would say, and he had about like 4 or 5 kids. And he was, not making a whole lot of money. He English was not fluent for him.
It was not his first language.
Was not his first language. And he came to us, and his credit was kind of shot. So we kind of put him on a path, and we said, this is what you need to do. And we explained the process of how you can actually negotiate some of those creditors and collections that you have. So we went through that process, and it took him 2 years. But in 2 years, we gave that man the keys to his house.
Wow.
That's a beautiful thing.
Where I work at, a neighbor works, we have programs like that for first-time home buyers, and they actually walk you through the whole process of getting your credit built up. And I can't tell you how many people. Maggie Toro is the one that handles all that.
And I work with Maggie a lot.
She's been phenomenal.
And that's another thing. Everyone thinks you need, tens, twenties of thousands of dollars to buy a house. And reality is you don't. There's grants. There's city grants. There's county grants.
City Living Sundays and stuff like that.
There's City Living Sundays every March. But the grants in the city are $3,000. If you work for the city, it can be $6,000.
Okay.
If you work for Strong or U of R, it can be up to $9,000 of help. So there's opportunities for you to purchase a house with very little bit of cash. And people don't know that. They think they need all this money. There's other ways that we structure certain loans where you get seller's concession, and what that is you make an agreement with the seller to kind of help you with their down payment and closing costs. So there's tons of ways. I mean, I'll be honest. When I bought my house 10 years ago, I didn't have my down payment money, and I was house shopping. My mother tells me, she goes, "How are you trying to buy a house when you don't have any money?" I go, "That's all right. I'll figure it out."
But I mean, at that point, I would assume you had a couple of things in order. One, you
Right.
had a job.
Right. We had a job. You definitely need to have income.
You gotta have some income, right?
Yes.
So it's unrealistic for someone who is not making much. I mean, when I'm talking about not much money, it's somebody that barely could afford to put food on the table. This person probably shouldn't be living for a house.
Well, you have to think about that person's going to have to pay a monthly rent unless they're living with family. They're going to have to pay rent somewhere.
So-
and usually rent is probably higher. And so I have folks who buy, $30,000, $40,000 houses because that's what they can afford,
Yeah,
because they
absolutely.
only want a $200-300 a month, mortgage.
Which is, if they're paying rent,
they're probably paying
could actually save them
$500-600, right?
money.
So I always tell people, I've had, and just to give you an idea, I've had folks who are on Section 8 purchase homes.
Yeah, so it's not. There's nothing that's limiting you.
There's nothing that's so, and a lot of people go, "Oh my God, really? I had no idea." And Section 8's not a bad thing. It's to help those who need the help.
Absolutely.
And take advantage whatever's out there if it's there for you. And when I say take advantage, I don't mean try to hurt the system and beat the system. But if it's something you qualify for, take advantage of it. You definitely, the opportunities are there. Rochester's a great place to buy a house. We have houses that start at $10,000. We have houses that go up to $1 million houses.
Absolutely.
And everywhere in between. So definitely talk to a realtor. They'll direct you in the right place. The dream is there for those who want it, and the information is available. There's homeowner classes.
Okay.
So if all these not-for-profits, like where he works, where Rick works, Neighbor works, there's Ibero, there's Marketplace, there's NCS, there's all these not-for-profits where that's their goal. And the reason why people go, well, why are they getting, state-funded money to run these programs? Well, here's what happens. You take a neighborhood that's, not... Home ownership brings revitalization. Home ownership, when you're invested in your home, you want to take care of it.
Oh, yeah,
not to
absolutely.
say that renters don't, but you have money invested in this. You have to pay a mortgage to a bank. The potential to live there for a long time is what you signed off on. And what these programs do is they try to make it affordable and the help with the grants so people can move into these neighborhoods to bring back life to these neighborhoods that have been a little run down. So that's why you see some of these newer homes in some of the city neighborhoods where maybe they weren't that a few years ago, and now they're beautiful with homeowners. And so that's what the city and the state has been trying to do.
And I've seen some like in the craziest of areas, like Conkey. You would think Conkey, and those houses that they built right on Avenue E in Conkey,
Right.
I drive by there and they still look good.
Right.
So it kind of goes to what you're saying
Right.
is that when people own their homes,
Right.
it's like it's a little bit bigger level of pride. It's kind of like when you
Right.
rent a car. You
Right.
rent a car, you run over every pothole. You don't.
Oh,
even
yeah,
care.
right,
But
right.
when you own your car, you avoid.
You don't have to pay for the maintenance.
Every single, you avoid every single power, so I completely understand that.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of the stuff that you talked about, where you help somebody repair their credit, where you're talking about all these things, sounds like you're a consultant, in a way.
And that's what I
Is that-
tell. And that's what I wish New York State Department of State would change our title. I hate being called a salesperson. At the end of the day, I am selling something or selling to someone, but I really hate being called a salesperson because I tell people that I'm more of an educator. I'm here to guide you, to give you the information, and so that you can make a sound, educated decision in the end, so that you have the information in your hand. And yes, to be a consultant, my God, I feel sometimes like a therapist because people, while we're out looking at houses, they'll tell me their
Yeah, absolutely.
all kinds of problems and
Yeah.
work problems and relationship problems.
And you find out financial problems in the process,
Yeah,
right? So it's-
sometimes. Or you stop them from getting into something that they shouldn't that could affect the ability to buy a home.
Gotcha.
So you don't want that either. If the intent is to buy a home, you don't want to have too much credit either. Because, the bank says, I want to be the only one that you owe money to. my house. I don't want you taking other loans
So
out.
if you have 15 loans out, more than
Yeah,
likely.
unless you're making
And
a lot
the
of
process,
money.
The process is hard. I know with me, having a phenomenal credit score, having the money, I did. Yeah, no, I did. I'm not. That's one thing I don't freaking hold back. Because you know why? Because I was that guy when I was in my 20s that had the 500, 400 credit score. So to get to the 800s, that lets me know I did something right. You know what I'm saying? And that's something you got to be proud of. But it's hard to get there.
And maintain is hard too because life happens,
So you have banks that they want to give you money, but they're not going to give it out that easily. And I know that even with that, I went through. It was like and Rosalie, who hopefully we're going to have on. It was like every other day. I need this now. I need this. I'm like, Rosalie, do you need a freaking blood sample too? I'm like, I'm getting to the point where these people are pissing me off because they're not doing me a favor. Yeah, they're doing me a favor by loaning me the money to buy the house. But I'm also paying a good chunk of interest.
Let me tell you my story. Let me tell you my quick story. We're buying the first house, our first home. I'm so excited. I'm like blessed. I'm like, I came from the hood. I didn't have nothing to actually buy a house with my hard-earned money. Was amazing. So I get this lawyer that was recommended by the person that was buying the house from the realtor.
Okay.
Which was not a good idea.
It depends who the realtor is.
True, which I thought was someone that had my best interest in mind.
Excuse me.
Salud.
Thank you.
So I buy the house. Well, so we go for the closing the first time. They forgot to escrow everything. So I'm going there for the closing and I can't even close. I'm there in tears. I'm in tears. I was so pissed off.
So basically they screwed up the numbers you needed to close, to buy the house.
I couldn't do it. I took a day off of work for nothing. Went and picked up my kid's mother. We went there to sign the papers, and we couldn't do it because it wasn't escrow. They said you could do it, but it won't be escrow. I'm like, the hell with that? I don't want to have to worry about doing this and doing that, paying Tom and Harry. I don't want to do that.
I will say that from 15 years ago, times have changed. The whole banking industry has changed, which really is the leader of the industry. Without the banks, you can't buy a house unless you have cash. But I will say that it has changed. A few years ago when the market crashed, a lot of people don't understand what that means. And what that means is that banks were giving loans to anybody who had a heartbeat.
Oh.
So you didn't even have to. It was you could be undocumented. And what that means, I don't mean like illegal in the country. I mean,
that's what I was thinking.
It means basically you didn't have to prove your income. You didn't have to show that you have a job. You didn't have to show nothing. You just went in and said you wanted a mortgage. If your credit score was good, they gave it to you.
Really?
And so what happens is people were doing this. And also they were lending more to, like, for instance, it's based on how much you earn, and what your debt is.
They were giving you a bigger...
So they were giving you more than what you can afford.
Well,
so
exactly.
A person who couldn't afford $100,000, they were telling them, go buy a $300,000 house.
You're talking about how the market...
The crash.
Yeah.
And so that's why now... with all that happened, now the mortgage industry and the mortgage banking department is very careful, and that's why they want your blood type, your underwear size, they want everything.
But it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, and I know that there was at one time when you bought the first house, which was the big, the big purchase, and at that time, I mean, the banks were saying, we'll give you up to, it was like almost $300,000.
Yes, ridiculous.
And I'm like, no, I know my salary at the time. I knew the salary that we had to work with. And I'm like, and they're like, no, $300,000. We'll give you $300,000
They did the same
for a house. And I'm like, no, I'm good. And like, as a realtor though, right? Because you would, if I was to buy a $300,000 house, you would actually benefit from that $300,000 house. But knowing me, right, and being a consultant,
make some nice money.
Would you advise me against it? Because I know at the end of the day, I got to make the ultimate decision. But
she could walk away. You can't.
Well, here's my thing. I have to sleep good at night, and not only that, our community is so small.
Yeah.
And I'm going to run into you at the club, at Wegmans,
and again, you earlier said that a lot of it comes from by word of mouth.
It is word of mouth.
Yeah,
so if I do a bad job for you, just like you're telling everyone in the world right now that I did a fabulous job, it would be in reverse. And so and just you got to be a good person. I think you just got to be a good person, and it's not all about money. Yes, it was great. I make a lot more commission on that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think it's more valuable to have your trust, your friendship, know that I did a good job, and guess what? it'll probably triple with all the referrals that I would get from you. So I think that one-time shot deal, to put somebody in that position would be
all that
hard.
stuff they made me go through, like Willie was talking about, you want to do a blood sample, whatever. They had me kind of going through that, but I kind of provided all that up front. Miggy was instrumental in me getting my house. Love Miggy. She did her thing for us.
I work with her too. I work with all these ladies.
She did phenomenal. That's Thadine's mom. For now, she's been in the bank, M&T for years. So what happens, I go through all this, I get my house finally. I'm excited, I'm moving in. And mind all the problems I'm already facing when I bought the house. But before I go make my first payment, I get a letter in the mail saying that I was sold off to Chase. I was sold off to Chase before I even made my first payment. M&T took it and sold my mortgage.
Yeah, and that happens.
And I heard it's very common.
It still happens. It's very common. What happens is some of these mortgages have investors, other banks and other lenders, and so what happens is the investor says, "Okay, we'll buy this once it's all done," and so that's what happens. Chase must have been their investor. So, but it's surprising because M&T Bank usually does do everything in house, and they usually keep it. So,
all I know
again,
is
it was the times. He's talking 15 years ago. The
all I
market
know
was
is if
so
it weren't for
different.
Miggy, I would have never got the house. Never would have got it.
So we look at a house, right? And then let's say, I'm the type of individual, and I sit back and I say, well, why should I buy a house? I heard it's not a great investment because of the money I'm going to have to spend. Like he said, there was a couple of things he had to do right off the bat. And then building equity, how long does it take to build equity? So what advice would you give to someone that's concerned about, that?
Can I say my experience first on that? As a first-time home buyer that didn't know anything, my advice is to you is to get as prepared as you can. Not just about the whole homeownership thing, but don't be afraid to learn how to fix things in a house either. And that's not just for men, but for women. Because if I knew then what I know now, dude, I probably wouldn't even be owning the house I have right now. I would have owned a different one. I was completely unprepared. I followed my heart into it. I dove into an empty swimming pool. And at the end, by the grace of God, honestly, by the grace of God, and because I know so many people, I was talking to people, and I was led into this direction, that direction. I got a grant for the city. I got a grant for NEPCA, and everything worked out. Everything worked out.
But
let me tell you,
I don't know who put you in that position because honestly,
I'll tell you off camera. But if we want to go real talk, let me know.
No. Honestly, when I work with first-time buyers specifically,
nobody, by the way, said, Ricardo, go to this. And by the way, at that time, that's when Ted was running that little program over there with Maritza.
The home store.
Yeah, the home store. No one told me about that. The guy, that's way back. No one told me you should go through this. They'll give you money to put
but
down.
here's the
they
thing.
never told me nothing.
Here's the thing.
I did it all on my own.
As a first-time buyer, with my first-time buyers, they're like my little babies. I'm the mama chick, and those are my little chickies. And I wouldn't put them in that scenario. Yeah, it looked ideal. There's nothing wrong with buying a HUD home because there's some mansions that are HUD homes, and a HUD home just means that it went through foreclosure and the government is the one who backed the loan, and that's another topic. But I wouldn't do that because those homes are sold as is, so they're not going to do any repairs. And by the way, the grants won't let you buy those homes anymore because there's usually repairs that have to be done. Whether it's a handrail or peeling paint or that sort of thing, the bank won't.
So there's different rules in place.
So there's different rules, but again, I wouldn't, even if the house was immaculate, I wouldn't put my buyer in that situation because you're talking about a house that's set with, unloved
for at least 2, 3, 4 years.
For a while. And there's going to bound to be problems. If you don't drive, if you have a brand new car and if it sits in the garage and it's never driven, guess what? You're going to have to jump start it. It's just one of those things. And so I try to tell them stay away from foreclosures. Yes, it looks attractive. It looks like a deal. You could buy a $100,000 house for sometimes half the price, but in the end, it's probably going to cost you a lot more heartache and money. So I always tell them, let's buy a normal sale home. So in that situation,
so much.
In your situation, I would have been very adamant, especially if you're my friend. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I was
not buying that house.
And mind you, I'm gonna tell you, the person that sold it to me, their sister, I grew up with their daughter and son, and he knew the relationship that I had with his nephew and niece.
No, if you were,
and we
if
were
you
Latinos.
Let's say right now.
He was Latino. I'm like, you should look out for me.
Right, but let's say right now, you both are homeowners. You've had your, you're on your second home, and you've had your home for
Over
15 years. You guys are seasoned now. So now, if you were to buy another property, you know what.
They're not going to take me over again.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also, properties like that are great for investment. So if you were buying property to flip them or rent them out, then those are great opportunities because the goal is to make money, and so the cheaper you buy the house.
I think the problem with that right now in Rochester is the PMIs.
PMIs are starting to come down again.
They better chill out, man.
Private mortgage insurance.
Yeah, private mortgage insurance.
That's anytime where you have less than 20%.
Yeah.
The problem is people don't know that they have this. It's already mandated into most, like maybe 95% of the homes that when you get a mortgage, you got to get a PMI.
It's only when you put down less than 20%.
Right.
Exactly.
If you put more than 20%, and
you
once
don't
you
have
get
to
up
pay
to
it.
20%,
Right.
It
When
knocks
we're talking
off.
in the city, it's pretty much out there, and you don't even know it. So here's what happens: when your house gets foreclosed on, the PMI sits on the house until they decide if they're going to give it back to the bank or if they're going to keep it and do something with it. And we're talking about a time difference of 1 to 5 years. And like she just said, the house sits. In the meantime, when that house sits, it's boarded up. People breaking in, taking the copper, doing this and doing that. The water tank, the furnace is all neglected. Everything's neglected. So mind you, the house can be immaculate, but if it's neglected, everything needs upkeep.
Exactly.
So now you got to walk in. You walk in like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Look at it. But when you turn everything on and working, a few months down the road, things
And I
start
think
to kick out.
that's the main point that she was driving home was
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because you have that brand new car sitting in the garage.
Exactly.
That hasn't been driven in 4 years.
I've seen this so
the engine
many times.
The engine is gone. The battery doesn't
Right,
work anymore.
exactly.
Who knows?
So
who
it's
knows?
and I'm not trying to talk down to those properties that are out there because there's some great, fantastic deals. I just don't think that they're the right ones for the first time buyer. You have no idea what you're getting into. Why get into something that is not normal?
Gotcha.
So that's just my point.
I think in a nutshell, and the gist of it is, first of all, get yourself someone that you respect, that you trust, whether it's someone that was referred.
And honestly,
right?
referred is always a great way to go. I mean, think about it. If you're looking for a dentist, chances are you're probably going to call someone first. Hey, do you have a good dentist? Do you recommend?
That's
Or
not the
do you
greatest
go
example,
and do
'cause
the?
I did that once, and I left him. quick.
Okay, well, now let's scratch
but,
that
but I
one.
know what you're
But
saying.
you know what
though.
I'm saying,
Somebody
versus
somebody
just
feels
Googling
comfortable.
someone. But you should do your
Yeah.
homework, even with a referred person.
Yeah. And-
If you have a referred person, you should still do your background on them or meet with them and make sure that, your personalities
Yeah.
are going to mesh too. Because like I said, we're going to spend, how much time did I spend more
yeah.
time with you than my family?
Yeah,
When
we
were
were
looking for
every other day.
weekends,
Because I came back from
evenings.
Florida like, Rose, I want to buy a house.
Yeah.
Like, all right, I'll send you 14. All right, let's go look at 6 tomorrow. Let's go look at 6 more
It was.
in a few days.
I tell people to pack a snack sometimes because
Yeah.
it's pack lunch, but you're going to spend a lot of time. You wouldn't want to be with someone that you're going to be uncomfortable around. So it's not just about the work ethic, but it's also about the comfort of being with that person for hours at a time.
So
during the week.
it's part referral, it's part your own gut.
Yeah.
You gotta have your own
Yeah.
gut.
Yeah.
But definitely don't Google. If you're looking for a realtor, please
Hey, I'm
reach
on
out.
the first 15
reach out.
pages.
But if you do want to reach out to Rosemary, I can personally vouch for her. And that's one thing I can say is that she
stand up.
Rosemary, I need to look at these 6 houses because that's what it was. I came back
it
from
was
the
chunks,
Sunset
right?
Cruise last year. My lease was coming up in January, and I'm like,
Well,
Rosemary,
and
I
that's
decided I
another
want to buy a
reason.
house.
You know what? That's another reason why some people in the industry are quick to be like, yeah, you should buy that one because we drive around a lot and
Oh, I know.
there's a misconception that our mileage is being paid for. No. We actually, when we represent buyers, and sellers, but we don't get paid, until you actually close on a property. So
Yeah.
all of our mileage
completely commission.
It's completely 100% commission.
No hourly rate.
which started for us in November and didn't end until January 26th.
No, that's short. I'm glad you said that. You ever had a customer?
I had him buy me a couple drinks.
You ever had a customer that just dragged on and wasn't happy with any house?
In the beginning of my career, because you're just so desperate and you just want to work and you just
But
want
now,
the experience.
what
But
you do is you
now-
fill out the customer. You already know what they want, so you already know which houses to show
Well,
them.
here's the thing too. Again, a lot of my clients are either people that I know from the community, friends, family, referrals from those people. I get referrals from attorneys and banks and all that. So usually they come, ready and willing. But I've had, in the beginning of my career, I've had people string me along. I had a couple people string me along, and they were never gonna buy a house. They just, I guess, had nothing better to do
Just want to go look at houses.
and want to look at houses.
Yeah,
and
which-
they were.
I want to see the inside of that
Really,
house.
they were qualified. They had pre-approvals and everything, but there was just their heart wasn't in it, and they strung me along. Now, at 12 years in the industry, I'm a very good read of character, a very good read of people with regards to. Is this person
You
really
can
going to
tell
buy a
somebody's
house?
gonna BS you or not.
Yeah, and I don't have time. I tell people I need to see a pre-approval. I did it with you.
Oh, yeah, and
my
that's
friend.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I mean I know.
No,
who
but
you are,
that was the first thing you told me. You were like,
and
you know
he was
what?
like,
Before we go look at a house.
you said I want to go see such and such. I said, well, you need to call Rosalie,
Yeah.
and you need to get pre-approved.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think he was taken back
yeah,
a little
what
bit.
the heck? Like,
And he's
wanna
like, I
go-
got good credit, and I was like, Julio, I don't doubt you have good credit. I don't doubt you have money. I said, I have to be consistent because I don't want anyone ever to say that I discriminated against them so I'm very consistent. So what I ask from you, I'm going to ask from you.
Yeah.
So
Which makes sense. And real quick to add on to that, one thing that I could personally, testify to is there were some houses that you always would get there a little bit earlier. And I remember a couple of houses where you like, let's go. We're going to drive to this house. And you were
Couple
like, you know what?
haunted
Yeah,
houses,
the one that she walked in, she was like, that house just told me something.
He looked at me and he jumped in his car. So
I'm like, let's go.
Julio was gone. He was in his-
And that's the beautiful thing about it is I could honestly trust her. And I think if anybody out
was
there that's
funny.
watching right now that's interested in buying a house,
There was a
get yourself
cuckoo in
someone
there.
that you trust. And it was like right around the corner. Because that's one thing I was set on. I was set
There was a
on.
cuckoo in
There was
there.
a cuckoo
There was a
in there.
cuckoo in there.
Yeah, well, I didn't go in. She was.
Well,
when she looked at
it's
me,
funny.
I'm
He
like,
told me
I'm
that
out.
when he was first trying to buy a house,
That's funny. I forgot
before he
about
bought the last house with his ex-wife, there was a house he told me about on East Avenue, was it?
Well, no, I did, and that was based off of them telling me that it was.
They use it for like
About
Underground Railroad type of thing, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
It was one of those big. It was 4,000 square feet.
Wow.
It had the roof. It was like the tile.
Yeah, it was like
shingles.
clay and all that.
Slate,
Yeah.
the
Oh, it was beautiful.
Slate. It is slate. Yeah.
Beautiful
slate.
house. It was listed at 260,000.
That's cheap, actually.
260,000.
Over there, that
That's-
is very
cheap.
over there,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's cheap.
it was valued like at 300 something.
Yeah, that's
so I'm like,
cheap.
and the mortgage company was like, hey, we'll give you up to 300,000. So I'm like, all right. When I looked at the house and the realtor that I had at that time really wasn't. It was just okay. Just go look at the house. I'll be right here. Let me know what you need. Which I know that's part of the job is to let people make their own decisions.
Right, but
not
you
giving-
need to look too because part of my job, I've actually had clients, even investors, will call me and say, "Oh my God, I went to an open house on Sunday. I'm in love with this house. I would put an offer right now," and I tell them no.
Yeah.
People think I'm crazy, and I'm like, "How can I?" I said, I'll take that back. I go, okay, are you going to put a full asking offer? And they go, oh no, they're asking too much. And I go, well, guess what? I can't negotiate until I see it with my own eyes. How can I
I'd rather
negotiate?
have
You know what I'm
I'd rather
saying?
have a realtor be like, you know what?
need to see it too. I need
Give
to
me
see
the
it
history.
too.
Let me know everything I need to know about this
And
house.
that's one thing that she does.
Yeah.
What she does and what she would do. So real quick, because we're running out of time, how can people get a hold of you? How can people get in touch?
Website, phone
Oh,
number,
my
everything.
God.
So
Well, you could Google me.
Google.
No, you
Rosemary
could.
Gutierrez.
Yes.
You got a Wikipedia too?
We could. I don't have. I'm not that famous.
We'll find
Not
out.
yet. Not yet. But no, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Google. So you can definitely find me on all the social networks. My number. Can I give my
Yeah,
phone
absolutely.
number?
Give me your number. Whatever contact.
My cell number. You can call or text 585-415-6600.
One more time.
585-415-6600, 6600. You can email me, rosemarygre@gmail.com. You can find me through one of these fellas right here, jvincentrealestate.com also.
So there's multiple ways, and if you're thinking about buying a house, if the thought has entered your mind, even if you're not buying a house for personal use and you're looking at investing because that's something that you talked about
Commercial,
earlier,
business.
or if you have a house and you want to sell it,
Yeah.
either
Or
way,
even if you have it in the back of your mind, you're scared about buying a house and saying, I don't know if it's for me. talk to someone that can tell you that. Let me tell you, owning a house is amazing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love that. I live in an area where back then the zoning laws were different. I have a double lot backyard.
Okay.
My yard
It's
is
huge.
huge.
Yeah.
In the city, Goodman Clifford area, it's huge. Julio will tell you, I got a huge backyard. It could almost compete to the old backyard he used to have. I have a big backyard for the city, and I was very fortunate. The only thing I wish I had was a garage, but I could still build it. But I'm very blessed. 15 plus years later on, I wish I knew then what I know now. But life is all about learning. So, and I love it. I'm blessed. It's my little kingdom. I'm attached to my house, and I'm a little behind on my mortgage right now. They be calling me like, "Are you living there? Are you living there now? Are you planning to move?" I'm like, no, I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
This is my place right here. I guarantee you, I'm gonna pay off that house one day, and it's gonna be for one of my kids.
There you go. So to avoid some of the things that he just talked about, get yourself a great realtor. Rosemary Gutierrez, 585-415-6600, or through our Facebook pages, however you need to. Make sure you reach out. Make sure you get someone that is going to be there for you, not be there for the almighty dollar, or be there to take care of you
And that's
your
very
family,
important, let me tell you.
and everything else. And that's basically where we're at. So what we're going to do, we're going to finish the show off. You can just hang out. We're going to finish the show off anyway.
Real quick, like 1 or
we
2
got
minutes
some
on each
things.
one.
Yeah, let me go back a little bit. All right, so
Oh my God.
real quick, rape downtown. The reason why I want to talk about this, and I won't get too into detail, but I am one of the board members for the Salvation Army, and it
Yeah.
seemed like, you know, the
actually
media,
thought about you when this
the
happened.
media kind of came down on, oh well, he was supposed to be in the Salvation Army at the shelter that we have downtown, but just want to make sure and go on the record. Major Hart already went on the record. I want to go on the record to say that was never the case. He never showed up. And I don't ever want to take away something from a great organization like the Salvation Army to make sure that
You brought your flags with you, girls?
we have what we need. And it's
clapping.
unfortunate for the individual that this happened to, but I think if anything, parole has to get a little bit better because he was denied twice.
Yeah, twice.
And was recommended that he never be released.
Yeah.
Type situation. But because of
Apparently,
the
this guy has
laws-
some really loose screws or something.
yeah, so he got out. So I'm glad Mayor Warren actually talked about that and said we need to do something about making sure that these individuals don't.
But
get out of
even
prison.
the Salvation Army, which that wasn't their thing. Even they said, you know what, we're gonna put a new plan in action to try to see
Oh, yeah,
what we can do on our
absolutely.
end.
And that's the way it should be.
That's what's
So-
up. It's not their fault, but they say, you know what, let's see what we can do better on our end
Yep.
to make sure something like that doesn't
And it's all
happen.
about doing the most good. Everything else, I want to talk about real quick. The young man that was killed out here in Gates, actually walking down Howard Road.
Oh my God.
I didn't hear about this.
It was like at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I know some of the people on
morning?
Facebook. No, this was about a month ago.
Okay.
Some of the people on my Facebook page though are related to him. His last name was Pacheco,
That's sad.
and he ended up walking 22, 23 years old, newborn son, was walking, and this young lady hit him and took off. They finally caught her like 3 days ago, and now they're basically not even. They're charging her with it's a felony, but it's not a violent felony. So they're saying right now. I mean, she got bailed out yesterday, $2,500.
That's it?
$2,500 bail.
That was a hit and run.
They're saying that she might not even see the jail at all. She might not even see jail time for this. And hit and run. No one knows if she was drunk, if she was texting, if she was doing something illegal. All that we know is that it took about 3
Wow.
weeks for them to find her, for
That's
her to
horrible.
finally give it up. And this young man lost
I
his
thought a
life.
hit
so-
and run would be, pretty up
I don't
there.
think
in
so.
the-
But I guess now, and it sucks that I guess if you're drunk and you hit somebody, you're better off fleeing the scene, get sobered up, take a shower,
That's
do all of that,
horrible.
and then go. Which is unfortunate because who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? We're good, Tim? All right, just want to make sure. Other than that, everything else could wait till next week. And then we have. I need to forward, Tim.
Oh, you're past the time. Hold on a minute.
Oh, okay.
Let me, hold on 1 second.
Yep.
We'll fix that.
I'm waiting. I'm holding. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that it would take, to me, it's just, come on, really?
That's
like,
sad.
you have a young man that lost his life, wasn't doing anything, was just walking.
Just walking.
And gets hit, and the young lady gets $2,500 bail set. And that's it. And it's all good. So it's not all good. Much love and respect to his family that's out there, and it's unfortunate. Definitely unfortunate.
It's horrible.
So are we still filming? Are we still filming? All right. Real quick, Madden season begins.
Hell yeah.
Actually began on Tuesday. Kevin Hart has some of the best commercials out.
That was
right
hilarious.
now. Talking about Madden football. Does Angel get into Madden? Little Angel or Big Angel?
I don't pay attention.
You don't pay attention to that? All right.
Yo, there's a glitch in the,
No, I don't
in the
think
Matrix.
so. I'm not sure.
The Madden, when you tackle someone, they go flying off the screen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was crazy.
I haven't played it.
Fantasy football, aka the Steelers, make the playoffs. Yes, they do.
So,
Yes, they do. Who put
My
that
son,
in there?
my son does like the Steelers.
well, no, that's
He's got a
that's
He's very, he's very well raised.
I didn't put this. I didn't put this on
Whoever
there.
did that, thank you.
No, it's not though. I don't know if you're reading it correctly. Fantasy football, the Steelers make the play. In the fantasy football, the Steelers make
Whatever,
the
sit
playoffs.
down.
Do you see how reading is fundamental? Fantasy football, aka
It's
the Steelers,
perception.
make the
It's for
playoffs.
perception.
Which means only in a fantasy world will the Steelers make the playoffs.
We're making the
To
playoffs.
make
this
sure
year.
that Jermaine Taylor, boxing ex-champ, Hall of Fame.
He
Yeah.
was such a promise too.
Well, no, he's actually just got a fight. He's got a fight set up for, I believe, it's October or November.
Yeah,
He's
I've
making a
heard from him in a
comeback.
Are they gonna let
He
him
got into a
fight?
fight with his cousin.
Yeah.
And I guess he
They'll
ended up
let him
having to
fight?
pull out his gun and shoot his cousin. You don't
They-
follow
they
boxing.
still
so
gotta
you don't
prove.
know.
But will they let him
Jermaine
fight?
Taylor.
No, who me?
Yeah.
No, I know
So-
who Jermaine Taylor
That's
is.
what I'm saying, but as far as him making a comeback.
Yeah, I'm just saying though. I haven't heard his name in a long time.
Yeah, no, he is. He's making a comeback. And I don't know what happened, but his family ended up, his cousin got into a scuffle and he
Yo,
had to shoot
all
his
the
cousin.
50 Cent and the Mayweather stuff.
You know what? I look at it two ways. I look at it two ways, man. I look at it two ways. For one, for 50 Cent to be out there saying, I'll give $750,000 if Mayweather could read a page out of a book.
Did you hear that though? Did you hear the?
I read it. I seen it. Yeah.
No, but did you hear Mayweather trying to read the lines?
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Yeah, but I mean, for one, he's doing it for a radio drop. He's trying to read the commercial, and not only that, but you have to act the commercial out. It's not like, hey, this is Floyd Mayweather, I'm just chilling over here, whatever it may be. But even if he is illiterate, you know what, I'm going to say this. There are people that got educations that wouldn't... Well, my man, I like the way Mayweather came back. He put up 2 checks,
Yeah, I see that.
$72 million.
$72 million.
So you know what?
Because I can't read,
You
but I
might,
can count.
you might, yeah. I can't read, but I can
I
count.
can't read, but I can count.
And I can make sure that my family
He can read numbers.
after me is always going to be a lot better off than I was. Mayweather's a street dude. Mayweather's not a regular. And you know how many football players, how many friends of ours that I would be like, yo, read a book, and they'll be like, so do I make fun of them because of that? You know what I'm saying?
Something harsh must happen between them two.
50 is acting like a little kid. To me, it's borderline.
Personally, I'm eating my popcorn. I'm enjoying the whole entertainment with them.
Yeah,
It is what it is
but,
between them two.
But I would love to see, 50 give that kind of money away just because.
Yeah.
If you
But
got
what
that kind
I
of
would
money to
really
waste-
love to see even more is the Yankees going to the postseason.
And I mean, you already last week said they're not. You said it live on air. They're not.
It's
So,
tough. Can it happen?
They're
Yes.
2.5
Will it?
games. They're 2.5 games out of a wild card. They are
They're
3.5
6.
games
No, I
from
think
actually taking the
I thought-
4th spot.
Oh, the 4. Yeah, because they're like 6 games back.
Yeah, but that's
Nobody
not what
told
it
me
comes
to wear
back.
jerseys too.
You should have.
Well,
I
you
mean, I
didn't
don't
tell
know.
me.
Not bad. You want to come more
Who was your
professional?
team?
Huh?
Who's your
More
team?
professional.
Well, I would look whatever was at home.
I would just grab
It's about
something.
the fashion. It's not about the thing. Right?
So does.
So yeah,
Honey,
so
what you
definitely-
wearing? Okay, I'm gonna wear that too.
Definitely that Mayweather thing. It is funny. Some of the things that I've seen are hilarious. But at the same time, it's like, come on, 50 man. You're always gonna be that hood from Queens. If you carry yourself like that hood from Queens, I don't care how much money you got. Money don't make you.
You know what's
give
funny?
you a
When
higher
he saw
standard.
that vitamin water, I thought he actually took himself to the next level, being professional. And doing this is so, in my opinion, I'm entertained. I don't care because it's not my money.
But it's
I'm not
immature.
losing or winning.
It's
But it is.
immature.
It's very middle school like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Especially when, and Mayweather didn't put it out there, when 50's son was crying because he didn't come to his high school football game or
Exactly.
something like that.
I'm surprised
it's
he didn't hit him with
why
that.
don't you worry about taking care of your son?
Yeah,
worry about
he didn't
taking
go
care
to
of those
his son's graduation,
situations, but you're worried about whether Mayweather could read or not. Even if he can't read, so what? There's millions of people that can't read.
Yeah.
But there's not millions of
Fantasia.
people. There's millions of
Fantasia
people.
was almost pretty illiterate.
$72
She didn't have her.
million.
She didn't have her degree or diploma or nothing when she won American Idol.
Yep.
She actually went back to school.
So it's crazy, but and that's pretty much it, man. That's all that we have for this week. We're basically running right on
Next
time.
week, tune in again. Thursday
next
Strong. I
It
mean,
was always planned, because I was talking over here and not once did I hear her, so there's something messed up.
because you're focused over there, not over here.
How
She
did
talked the whole time.
I did talk.
She talked the whole time.
How does she normally
She talked the whole time. Oh, trying to say you really talk loud.
Get your Charlie Harper ass
So
over
hold
there.
Is it a Puerto Rican thing?
I guess, yeah, he's basically calling out because he's Puerto Rican. Chuck always does that. You know the white man's always trying to take
It's just
the
that-
Latinos
Always trying to
down.
oppress us.
He speaks like he has a megaphone in his hand. I don't.
Yeah, that's what it is. So, with that said, thank you for coming out.
God bless. Good night.
And